Assistant Pastor Reverend Rosie Ogilvie, and our students and our church president and all around everything. He cooks too. Chris Audia. And so beautiful Marilyn Johnson, Reverend Marilyn Johnson is going to speak for us today, and Reverend Deborah Dinares. And Reverend Marilyn was ordained as a spiritualist minister at Harmony Grove Spiritualist Association in Escondido in 2019. She loves her role as teacher, artist, astrologer, empathic healer, and Harmony Grove Spiritualist Association's psychic fair reader. She's a resident of Harmony Grove, where she lives with her little dog, Boots. I've known Reverend Marilyn a long time from Harmony Grove days and for me, and it's such a blessing, such a beautiful woodland area. It's just teeming with the angels and the little elementals and the fairies and all the fun creatures. But there's a lot of that beautiful energy that Marilyn brings to all of her works. She's a wonderful artist in many ways, and she's going to share some with us this morning. Let's welcome warmly, please, Reverend Marilyn Johnson.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am so pleased. I'm not quite in my body. I can feel it. Let me come back. I wasn't exactly listening at the last part when we got back in our body, but it was so. It's just been so amazing to be here. The energy here is so lovely. Oh, it's just like eating. It's like eating manna from heaven. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy, and I'm so blessed to be here. So I am standing up here though, and I happen to be standing here. I have some notes in front of me, and today I am going to be talking about what is my, and I hope that you can hear me okay, what is my spiritual, and by my, I kind of mean all of us, what is my spiritual practice? If we have a spiritual connection, how do we grow that spiritual connection? And that's what I want to talk about. So it's kind of a little bit of a personal journey. And so I have my talk organized in terms of, it says part 1, me and the rosary. Part 2, the female saints. Part 3, I'm going to actually talk about a rosary that I made. Okay, I am not Catholic. I'm not Catholic. There's probably some people in here who have been part of and maybe continue to be part of the Catholic faith. But I'm going to tell you what, when I was a kid, from the get-go, I was very, very religious. And I think everything happens for a purpose. Everything in our life. It's all been planned so that we learn what we need to learn, right? And so I grew up in a family that was not in any way, shape, or form religious. And God bless them, they passed on, it's okay. One was a Lutheran and one was a Baptist. And I think that when they were kids, they kind of figured they had enough of it. And so and that was okay. We didn't go to church. Somehow, I always felt, can I do this? I always felt like I knew everything about religion from very young. We went over to a neighbor's house and they had what was called an illustrated Bible. I don't know if anybody remembers the Hurlbut Bible. It was very popular in the 50s and 60s. Anyway, it had pictures in it. It had pictures of Jesus in it. And I was a child. It wasn't that I was pre-verbal, but I didn't talk a lot. I was probably 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old, and they showed me the picture of Jesus. I immediately knew who Jesus was. I knew it. I knew it in my heart from the beginning. So I'm just trying to say that I was always aligned toward religion from the time I was born. So I think that's all I need to say about that, except that my best friend, when I was a kid, she got to go to Catholic school. And I was so envious of her. So could people tell me, just by show of hands, who has been attached to the Catholic Church before? Okay, good. Then you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Okay. And so here's what she got to do. And she lived right across the street from me. And she got a rosary. She had a beautiful little Bible that was encased in leather that she could zip up. She got to wear a special outfit when she took First Communion. First Communion, so important, right? I'm talking 1963, people. 1962, 1963. She had scapulars, devotional scapulars. Oh, I would look at the picture. Oh, it was so beautiful. She got to have ashes. Ashes put on her head. Anyway, I'm just saying I was so envious of that. So envious of it. And then, you know, life happens. And eventually in high school, another girlfriend gave me a rosary. And I'm going to show you this rosary that she gave me. Not the rosary I made, but the rosary that she gave, that my girlfriend, a different girlfriend, gave me. And it's kind of tarnished. So this would have been around 1970, right? So I never used it. I never knew how to use it. I put it in a little box. And I saved it all these years, however many years, 50 years, whatever. So it came back into my life recently. I was recently retired. And then I asked myself deeply, what is my spiritual practice? And I want to tell you, so I worked for 50 years. Do you think I was like an organized person in my work? Damn straight. I was like this. Bam, 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 bam. Can you be very organized? This is what I learned. Can you be really organized in your spiritual practice? Here's what I learned. No, I can be soft. I can listen to my heart. I can look at the light. I can listen to the birds. That's what I learned after retirement, that I could have a very soft practice and I could listen inside to my heart and what it wanted. But I did go through the program. I went through Harmony Grove program, which was years, many, many, many years of learning how to do healing and all of this different stuff. And plus we had another person who was on site weekly, and she would practice with us. So we had a class in addition to all of the training that we did at Harmony Grove Spiritualist Association. So I was very good at that. I was very organized. I took the tests. I did all the stuff. And so then, like I said, I got to the point where I could be different, and I do meditate, but I could also, just in quiet times, could say, what can I do, or what is my spiritual practice that I can do? So that's why I'm talking about myself, so that we can think about that, because it's never ending. You know, it's always going to be kind of creative, I feel, that speaks to us and how we connect to, and you have to think about, what do you want to do? Do I want to connect to God? Do I want to help other people? What all of that is for you. Okay, so that's part one. 8 minutes. Okay. Silly I am. Okay, and then the next thing I want to talk about is female saints. Was I Catholic? This is just a test. Was I Catholic?
Nope.
No. What am I doing talking about the female saints, right? Okay, so I always did love a religious book, though. Went to the library, Linda Vista Library, public library, read everything in that section that had to do with all of that stuff. And you know what? I don't mean to be rude. Am I going to be rude? They all were written by men. It's true. And did I love what they said? Absolutely. But recently, I felt like I missed the voice of women. I missed how women talk, how they think, their energy around all of that. So, and I mean, the first super religious book that I read, of course, was the Bible, but then something called The Imitation of Christ by Thomas A. Kempis.
Mm-hmm.
So that obviously is a man, but it profoundly changed my life. I think I was in middle school. And it was kind of like a secondary Bible in a way. So, and that book is still widely read, very beautiful. So I want to say that so that all of these books that were written by men, they made a big effect on me, very positive. And it was only until recently that I started thinking about the women's voice, the voice of women. And there are saints who are women through the Catholic Church. Some of them, there's 4 of them, that are called doctors of the church. That means that they gave so much in terms of the understanding of, I'm not even going to say Catholic Church. I'm going to say an understanding God. Very, very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful writings. And so I started, okay, I'm talking about this wrong. What I'm going to say, though, I was going to say I started reading them or studying them. That's not true. What happened is that through meditation, what I received was this information about the female saints. I didn't actually know who they were, but I received that information and then I looked. So that's actually more true to actually what I was saying. Okay, so the female saints I'm going to talk about that I focused on, and here I'm going to get a little didactic. And they're not in any particular order, but you may recognize them a little bit. I love to talk about this. I love the energy of these women. It's so special to me. And 2 of them you can actually learn more about in movies. It was popularized. Okay, so the first one is St. Clare. St. Clare was at the same time as St. Francis of Assisi. And so I'm just going to give you a little facts so that when I say the words, it'll kind of mean something to you. Okay, so she lived from 1194 to 1253. She died at the age of 59. You know, that was a long time ago. 59 was probably a good age to have passed. She was from Italy. Assisi is in Italy. And how many people have heard of St. Clare? Okay. So St. Clare was known, and you know, saints are usually known for something because of what happened in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that she was able to do is she could see I forgot to say something else. Okay, she could do remote viewing of something that was going to happen. So in other words, she saw, at this time there were battles and so on and so forth, so she was able to see it before it happened. Okay, so why are the female saints important to us? Because you know what? They do spiritualism stuff. They can, you know, clear audience, clear viewing. They knew what was happening. They had very extraordinary experiences And that's the other reason why they came to me, my meditation, was for that beauty of their connection to us in spiritualism. They did these things that we've learned how to do. Okay, so the thing that I wanted to say about St. Clair, like I was saying, and she's the patron saint of television because because she could see things before they happen, just like a TV kind of brings it into our home. Okay, so here's one where you can actually watch a movie about her. It's called Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon. It's a really beautiful movie about 1972. You can still find it in different places, maybe free, probably free, or pay a little bit of money. Anyway, and that was created by Franco Zeffirelli, directed by. And Franco Zeffirelli is a great director. He did Romeo and Juliet, and he did Jesus of Nazareth. And each of his movies, Jesus of Nazareth, was a series, TV series that they had on. I don't know if you remember seeing it, but it's my favorite depiction, and there's like dozens of movies of Jesus. It's my favorite depiction of it, and it's because of Franco Zeffirelli. He has really beautiful, lush, loving ways of showing a story. And so he picked Romeo and Juliet, and in Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon, it's about St. Francis and about St. Clair. And it's a beautiful, beautiful movie. It's like early 1970s. Okay, so that's St. Clair. So moving on, St. Bernadette. Bernadette Soubirous. And some of you, how many people have seen the Song of Bernadette? The movie. Okay. It made a huge impact on me. It's a beautiful movie. I think I must have seen it in the 1960s. Anyway, she lived from 1844 to 1879. She was in France. And you know that because of her, they have the cathedral in Lourdes, and the grotto where she called her the Lady. She never called her Mother Mary. I will call Mother Mary Our Lady today if I use the term. And so she had visions, just like we have visions. She had visions of the Lady. And she's the patron saint of those who are ridiculed for their faith. I don't know why I put that in there, except that sometimes spiritualists, I feel like we're a little bit ridiculed for it sometimes. So St. Bernadette is the one I'm going to focus on when I talk about my rosary. Okay, so the next one is St. Therese. Oh, I'm supposed to be showing you pictures. Okay. Show it down.
Show and tell.
I don't know if you can see it in the back. But anyway, so the first one is St. Clair. I like this particular depiction of her because she started Poor Clares. And like St. Francis of Assisi, who lived in a cave, she let go of everything materialistic. And I like that it just shows her in her faith and her beauty, surrounded by kind of nothing in a way. There's nothing. She's not holding on to anything, although I believe she was she came from a wealthy family. Okay, here's St. Bernadette. I'm sorry, it's not the best picture, but if you look at the movie, and I strongly suggest that you look at that beautiful, beautiful movie. It's very true to fact. There's a book called The Song of Bernadette, which is also available. Anyway, it shows Mother Mary, or the Lady, and St. Bernadette there. And she was so very humble. So very, very humble. So beautiful. I love this depiction of her. Okay, and then I was going to talk about St. Therese of Lisieux. She is called the Little Flower. How many people have heard of the Little Flower? And I love the Little Flower name for her. And she was actually my first favorite saint. I have a picture of her that I got. I didn't know anything about her. I was just attracted to her. And she's always depicted, this is actually a picture of her. It's actually a picture of her. Usually it's stylized in a painting. But she's always shown with flowers. And the thing that I loved about St. Therese is that she called it the small way. And she was very humble, and yet she had great impact. She carried her humility and her connection to God with her every day in every single action that she did. It was very, very beautiful. And she is a doctor. She's one of the doctors of the church. She left many beautiful writings, and you can read about her. So she was in France. Let's see. She wrote the book The Story of a Soul, which you can read. She's the patron saint of florists and of gardeners because she's always associated with the growing beautiful flowers. And, okay, so at number 4, St. Teresa of Avila is another doctor of the church. And again, the reason why I'm focusing on these women is because they had such extraordinary, I'm sorry, the pictures are beautiful, but, or easy to see. But I love this picture where all of this energy is coming into her, this kind of spiritual energy, kind of like what we may experience in meditation when we have, and it shows her holding the pen, and she wrote about those experiences, and there is a lot that you can read, especially the interior castle, and that talks about the 7 levels that people go through in their spiritual journey. It's really beautiful. Next, and that would be St. Hildegard. Okay, I don't have a picture of St. Hildegard. What I have is some of her one of her paintings, because she is kind of, I don't know, where is it? Over here? Uh-oh. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is one of her paintings, and so I think this is, oh, shoot. Well, it could be a seraphim. I think it's a seraphim. With the wings that go in the different directions. No one's seen a seraphim, but maybe technically, but so she would see these extraordinary visions. So I'm going to read what she wrote here, because I think it talks a lot, and then I'm going to show you the rosary. I'm sorry I'm getting all excited about this. All right. So this is from St. Hildegard. She says, from my early childhood, before my bones, nerves, and veins were fully strengthened, I have always seen this vision in my soul, even to the present time, when I am more than 70 years old. She died when she was 81. In this vision, my soul, as God would have it, rises up high into the vault of heaven and into the changing sky and spreads itself out among different peoples, although they are far away from me in distant lands and places. And because I see them this way in my soul, I observe them in accord with the shifting of clouds and other created things. I do not hear them with my outward ears, nor do I perceive them by the thoughts of my own heart, or by any combination of my 5 senses, but in my soul alone, while my outward eyes are open. So I have never fallen prey to ecstasy in the visions, but I see them wide awake. The light which I see thus is not spatial, but it is far, far brighter than a cloud which carries the sun. I can measure neither height nor length nor breadth in it, and I call it the reflection of the living light, the reflection of the living light. And as the sun, the moon, and the stars appear in water, so writings, sermons, virtues, and certain human actions take form for me and gleam. So that's one of her writings. And the reason why I talked about that is, do you sometimes have experiences like that when you're in meditation? very interesting, beautiful connection to God and light. Going back, I just want to say that St. Hildegard was